Yes. Hello, everyone. And the next topic is technical feasibility study. And we were talking about market feasibility study in the last session. And we were also talking on the other topic called, we are talking on the topic called identification of business opportunities. And there we have discussed about SWOT analysis. And following by SWOT analysis, we were talking about market feasibility study. So in market feasibility study, we have decided about talking about few things like budget, price, and how the thing should be get processed as being an entrepreneur. And the next will be technical feasibility study. Okay. So technical feasibility study. So what does mean by this technical feasibility study, and how far the techniques that we try to adapt in our project is feasible? Studying about that. And I was telling you an example, right? So how to manage a project work when you do it in a globally. So managing the project work in a global, managing a global project team, globally distributed project team. So how can you manage a globally distributed project team? And if it is not a globally distributed project team, then it is little bit easy for us to manage and also make sure that how the things get carrying forward to the next stage. But when it comes under like a global distributor project thing, then that is little bit quite complicated even in managing and doing the things. And here too you can see the first point is location of the project, and the data regarding the location of project is very important, and where you are going to start it. Even I can tell you one small example. So let us try to understand how the requirement work starts for the project. And similar to that, next let us move for analysis. And for understanding, let me take an example like constructing our dream house. Okay, so that let me take as an example. So it is a kind of non-software project. I'm talking about a non-software project. But whereas when you talk about the things, both this and software project things have the same things. And this non-software project, like constructing a dream house. And what are the basic requirements, or what are the initial requirements that will be there for doing this work? And the first requirement is you need to talk about location, area. And second, are there any preferred choices for you in selecting the location or area? That should be the second one. And third uh, is like, and third is related to budget. Okay. So once when we are done with this area and location, then we will be talking about budget. So if our budget is not suitable, then we will be trying to change the location according to our budget. Once these things are ready, then we will be proceeding with the help of contact engineer or other construction engineer or um, civil engineer. Okay. So once the requirements are done, then what I will be doing further will be, so once my requirements are made and everything is clear, then I will be starting constructing. First, I will be having the blueprint or something called architecture, right? So architecture or a blueprint. And I was telling you on topic one concept called modeling in the last session, and almost this is equal to that. So model can be called in short like a simplification of reality. Okay. So once I start with architecture or blueprint, thereafter I will be doing the things. So this will help me to understand or visualize how the system will be before getting implemented. So I can visualize the things before once when it gets implemented in a real time environment. Okay. So that is one example. So the main thing that I was talking about this application is, in this case, like constructing our dream house non-software project. Once we are done with architecture blueprint, then once when we start constructing the building, thereafter we are not going to change the requirements. We are not going to change the plan. We should not change the architecture. So we'll freeze the things and we'll take forward, right? So the reason is that at later point of time it is not able to change the things. If you want to change some certain things, then it requires again money on it. At the same time, we need to recalculate the budget also. But when it is a software project, it is always prone to change. At any moment, you can expect a change. Either it can be the design phase, you can expect a change. Either it can be the development phase, you can expect the change. So either even me the testing phase, you can expect the change. At any stage, it is always prone to change. Okay, and that is the reason we need the software projects to be handled in a smarter manner. So location of the project, like rural or urban or semi-urban areas. Next one will be construction of factory building and its size. So this talks about the infrastructure and number of people that you want to complete the work, a number of people who will be involved in doing the activities or doing the works, like construction details and what is the nature or a type of building and its size for the project. So this all has to be analyzed. And availability of raw materials. So the study of availability of raw materials, like from where I'm going to get the all raw materials. If that particular company is not able to provide me raw materials, are there any alternative for me to do the work? See, when you commit towards a work, we should not be assured. We should not be assuring the things only with from one source. We should have multiple sources, right? If one is getting failed, we should make the other one to get used. So we should not keep just grip on the one single item. Just we should be always just keep grip on the multiple items. So the study of availability of raw material, source of supply, from where I will be getting the data, and alternate sources, its quality, specification, cost, etc. All this study has to be made in this technical feasibility study, and how far you can technically promote the things to the next level. And that is what the major thing that we will be talking on this availability of raw materials. And next thing is about and the other things which we are going to talk in this technical feasibility study is. So these are the few questions. Like you can see, almost nine questions. This are should be get asked in technical feasibility study. And first, about the raw material, power, and the other inputs that is required for establishment of your industry firm. So if I don't have the proper raw materials or the right raw materials that is required in doing my project, or the power which is required to do it, and as I told you earlier, to run startup company, you need to get it approved by government, and you can further do the project. You can further make the work to be done only in lines with the government policies, government rules and regulations. You may not be able to move out from the government policies or government rules. You should be strict within this deadline. You should be strict within the work. I mean, within what the government has framed for us to follow. Okay. So as the availability, if raw material, power inputs are established, and is the selected scale of operation optimal? See, when we talk about some companies like business firm, and if you are willing to start a small scale business firm or a large scale business firm or a very large scale business firm, it is up to us. And initially, we will not, mostly it is not preferred to start a large scale business firm initially. So initially, we always wish to start with a small scale business firm, and then later on, we will be planning to move for the next one, like large scale business firm. Since initially we need to look on the things, I mean, what are the things that are required by our company, Or there all the things has been getting in a smoother manner. Straight away I can't go and start a company, I can't run a company, right? First I need to talk about my company, and I need to analyze, am I going to manufacture the product which is currently there in the market, I mean which is currently having a good demand in the market. I should not go on manufacturing some other things which is not having the current demand in the market. So I should go on getting analyzing the things which is having the current demand in the market. Only those items I need to start manufacturing, and also I should make sure that whatever the things that I do, which has should have some unique features when comparing with other features in the market, and also it should have good demand in the market, right? And is the production process chosen suitable? How far the production process that is involved? So this feasibility study is not only specific for a software project. So this is normal. I mean, this feasibility study is can be applied for all sort of projects. Either it can be a software project, it can be a non-software project, it can be of anything. It is up to us. And what are the equipments and machines that we have chosen or appropriate to our problem, or appropriate to work, or which is almost like which is appropriate to the work we do. How far it is supportive. And here you can see there is other term called out auxiliary equipment supplementary engineering. See, it is called like a secondary, or it is called supporting. That is auxiliary equipment or supporting equipment. So there can be some certain requests and equipments which can be used in assistance when some other equipment gets failed, or when you are not able, when you are not able to do the right some work with the other equipments, then you can proceed with the next other equipment. Okay, so that is the auxiliary equipment. And supplementary engineering works which have been provided for. So when as I told you earlier, like different points of view. So when you start doing the things, you need to analyze from the different points of view. I can take the same example which I've taken earlier, like construction of DreamWorks. So there, if I look into it, when I talk about the architecture or a blueprint of a system, I mean the architecture or blueprint of a building before you create to its implementation. So that architecture has to be designed or has to be developed from different points of view. I mean, from the point of view of what you call, from the point of view of one the construction engineer, and from the point of view of the customer, and from the point of view of plumber, and from the point of view of electrician. So these people are to be involved in doing the things, right? Even if you want to make some interior decorations, you need the help of this electrician and all these people, so that without them also it is not able to complete and to get a complete picture on the construction of dreamers. I mean, and it is not only dreamers, it can be of any projects. For example, I'm just representing it in this manner. Okay. And next one, like treatment of effluents and proposed layout of site buildings and plants. So, see, I was telling you one example, right? If I wish to start a school, I need to establish my school near to the place where people will be get connected, and I should make sure that transportation facility should be there for people to come and to reach the school at their convenience, right? I should not make it to be get too close to any like theaters or to any busiest places, or it should not be too far away from the city also. And if that goes again, if it is being located in a remote area, then it will be not possible for me to make the works done. Okay, and now the work schedules that has been drawn up realistically, and it is always there are two things, like one is called like prediction, and the other one is called like the actual one. So at the end, there will be always a difference between the prediction and the actual one. Your predicted one might be something, but the actual one which is occurring might be some other thing, which need not to be same. Sometimes which can be same, and sometimes which may be a little bit variation. But if there is more number of variation, then your prediction goes wrong. For example, if your prediction tells me that there will be around 99, I mean 95 people will be get affected by COVID-19 in the next week, and when it gets into practically, if it is only 20 or if it is more than 500, your prediction was completely wrong. And if you are like if the prediction was 95 and the real happening was 105 or 110 or 80, then that's fine. That is acceptable, right? And to analyze this, there is a technique called a confusion matrix. So we use a confusion matrix. So confusion matrix will help us to identify. I mean, confusion matrix will help us to identify how this prediction and actual one values are being corrected, and what is the final things that which is happening from this. And there is one more thing is also there, like which we call as root mean square error, RMSE, which will help you to find the noises in the results. Okay, and you can apply all these kind of technical concepts in even in doing this business establishment or what you call business firm. And schedules, making a project or making a work to be get delivered is, in the given deadline is the major thing that you will be knowing. And that is not only the part which is being involved in scheduling, and even when you establish an infrastructure and when you get the requirements, when you get the raw materials, and if you are unable to start or manufacture thing without the raw materials, then you need to get the raw materials. And in case if you are getting the raw materials on your own, then it is very easy for you to move towards the next stage. But when it is supposed to get the raw materials from the other participants, I mean from the other ones, then it is very hard to get it done, right? So how far this work is being done, and how are we going to manage the things? See, when you start a company, first before starting a company, you will be deciding about the customer, who is your customer, whom you are going to reach. And next you will be concentrating on the other part, like do you require any specific marketing skill, or do you require any specific marketing manager? And also you should have employed certain people, the human resource that are required for you to use. All these are entirely just called as like a schedule. Schedule is not the only one activity, it is a complete set of activity. So even I was telling you one thing, planning. If your project is can be completed in 3 months, and if your planning requires 1 week, that also should be there in this 3 months. It also should be included in this 3 months. Else, your planning, if you're spending it something 1 week, which is nowhere related to the schedule, that will again make the schedule to be get large. Okay, so these are the things. And at last, like, is the technology proposed to be employed appropriate from the social point of view? So, I can tell you like a key word in making the business to be successful is always make your business or make your product or whatever that you do, make your service to get reach at the end at each and every customer in the environment. I mean, each and every customer in the world. You should try to reach. You should try to make the product to be get reached or to be get delivered to every customer. So then your thing will be get done. In case if you are like tie up with doing some projects for specific client, then you should make satisfy them with the work that you are doing more technically. And also like if it will be better or it will be always appreciable if you have some kind of like societal some kind of solutions which can solve the societal problems, or some kind of projects which can deal much better with the societal issues. So this also will bring scope. The same meanwhile, this also will help you in improve making things to move forward to the next stage. Okay, so these are the important questions which has to be discussed in this technical analysis, or what you call it, technical feasibility study. Okay, and you can ask me one more thing, like how far the SWOT analysis is related to what we are studying as of this everything, right? So SWOT analysis, like as the term says, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. I told you earlier, like a SWOT analysis will be helping you to analyze various internal factors and external factors which can act as a which can help you in improving the company towards the next stage, or which can support in making the things to be a good successive, or which can help you to move the take forward the things in a successful manner, right? And similarly, like if you take about the strength and weakness, which talks about the internal factors, which talks about how the company is doing the things, how the company a business which you are doing can achieve the things, and opportunities which is existing outside, right? And how far my opportunity is suitable for me, how can I identify the opportunity, and how can I make that opportunity to be achieved in a greater manner, how can I utilize that opportunity in making the things to be successful. All these things are with us. So how far we are going to promote and do the things and making the how far you're going to achieve the things in a successful manner, and that is the use of SWOT analysis. And also like even like the other non-software projects. Let me take a small example. Like if you if you see institutions like colleges, they will get accreditation like NBA and NAC, right? So when they go for NAC accreditation, they also will do SWOT analysis. I mean, the institution will be doing SWOT analysis before getting into inspection committee. So that will help them to understand the areas and weakness and opportunities and threats and everything. And also like even the other companies also. So these things are applied, these things are useful not only when the company gets established initially. So these things will always be useful even when the company is after establishment, and the company if it wants to be get in a determined position in the competitive environment or in the competitive market uh, throughout the end, it should be always better if the company has this kind of things. If the company performs all this kind of SWOT analysis, technical feasibility study, market feasibility study, and we will be talking on the other two more things like financial feasibility study and social feasibility study. And the company or the project or the product that we do, it should it should undergo all these things. Only then the thing or the work or the project will become successful, and you can make the company to be successful. It is not easy to make a company to be successful always, but I mean like getting a position in the competitive market like in the industry market is easy, but once after getting a position, how to make that you are the one going to lead in the market, and how to ensure that you will be always get benefited from the work that you are doing, and no way you should be get degraded, no way you should be get pushed down, right? So when that is being done, then you will not be able to make the business, I mean the data value. So business is something like a way which you can make some kind of money, a value from the data that is available with you. Without that, we may not be able to fulfill certain things, and we may not be able to fulfill the demands of the customer. So we need to fulfill the demands of the customers, so thereby we can make the product or the project to be work better. Until and unless if you're not able to make this demand to be successful, you're not going to be successful. So to be clear with the goal when you start establishing the industry firm, and when you start or organize a business firm, you should be thorough with the business goal. So what is your ultimate goal? What is exactly that you want to do? And what is your target? And who are your target users? And what is your objective? And how you are going to move forward, take forward the things, and the difference between like a vision and mission, how you're going to achieve the goal that you have stated. You may have stated some goal, and how far you are going to achieve that goal, and how you are making the work to be get move forward to the next later on stages. And the other or major important role is like recruitment staff selection committee. And earlier we have discussed about some staff selection committee and other process, right? How people will be recruited like with notification and then with interviews and all these kind of things. And here too again the same thing, and it is not easy to have recruitment process, and that should carry that has to come through some multiple stages. First it should has first it should has notification, and then after once profiles has been received, then you need to shortlist, Once after shortlisting is done, then the technical interview will be conducted by the technical team. So whoever they feel suitable or they feel the right one for their position which they are, which the company is looking, they shall be employed in the work. Okay. So else, if you start recruiting with reference like the people known to, even if they are not technically good enough, technically good in doing the work, then you may not be able to be successful at the end. So you may not be able to reach the project. You may not be able to reach that target. Okay. So these are the things related to this, like financial feasible. M- these are the things related to this technical feasibility study and market feasibility study. And we shall talk about this financial feasibility study and social feasibility study in the next section, next class. Okay. So regarding your internals one, I can see most of you are give opted the same question. So whichever is easy and whichever is easy, when whichever is there available. And I can see almost all 80 to 90% of answers is same, which is like directly copied from the textbook. And there was two case studies that was being asked, but I can see only one or two of you have answered it, but none of others have not answered it. That those case studies. But I don't know like what is the problem with you all. Even though it is on online, it is not that like you can copy directly from the textbook and you can submit it. So if you're doing it, then it is better to take a Xerox copy of the textbook and you can attach the photo and you can send it, right? So then you need not write anything. So once if you're writing something, you should represent or you should give the answer from your point of view. So once after understanding this, what is that you have arrived? So what is the thing that you have learned, and you need to represent it. For example, like for external examinations, like when the evaluation, they evaluate from textbook. They need the answers to be from the textbook, and that is fine. And even though like if you are writing after writing and giving answers after a proper understanding, then that also will be almost it will be equal to the textbook content, which will not vary, right? But I can't see any idea, any answers which is little bit interesting or which is having little bit of imagination. So as a business entrepreneur, you should be having some good skills in improving your management things and everything. But I can't see it anywhere in the internals. So it is better to have further improvement before the next internals too. Okay. So let me tell you in detail about this internals one in the next session, and also I will be sharing you marks before in the next 1 week. Okay. So then later on, and we should have two assignments. So assignment one and assignment two still are not given questions for assignment one and two, right? So hopefully in the next week, we'll be giving you assignment questions.